House Bureau boss, the man you just saw on the screen there, that's Kwabena Boahene, that's Samuel Atachia. He said that he has actually spoken to the former Minister for National Security, Albert Daapah, on the charges against his client, Edu Boahene. He said this in an exclusive interview with my colleague, Beatrice Edu. Take a look.
Who should come and interpret this? Daapah? So when you sit down there and you are wise after the event, this is what you think you should do. But do you know what they were trying to do with the operational account? Have you heard anywhere in the world that people will discuss operational accounts of national security? Are you not going to educate the national security? Why didn't you go X or Y? What kind of indiscretion is that?
I'm sure you want to ensure that your client gets a favorable ruling, as it were, or judgment from the court. Have you spoken to the former National Security Minister, Daapah, yourself?
I have. Why not? He's a very critical individual in the matter.
And he has explained to you why your client did what he did?
Yes.
And you think that is justifiable?
Why not justifiable? Right now, who should be the complainant? Is it not Daapah who should say that Boahene was a rogue, security operative, and while I was there, he was stealing money. And now you come in there, you want to do your final post-mortem, as if you want to second-guess Daapah.
But won't that implicate him? Because if you look at the National Signals Bureau, it works with the National Security Council.
Look, can you divorce the Signal Bureau from the Minister for National Security? Can you divorce that office? Do you know the one who superintends over all the affairs of national security? He's a minister. This is just, excuse me to say, an appendage of the system. So you think the minister is deprived of power to superintend Kwabena Boahene?
Let me get you correctly. Are you directly saying that if Edu Boahene is being tried, perhaps Daapah should also be interrogated in the midst of this because everything was done in conjunction with his office?
You see, don't you think the investigation is sitting upside down that you wouldn't want to call Daapah first? In fact, the first prosecution witness, if this is a crime, should be Daapah.
How do you know the Attorney General doesn't have it in its pocket, as it were, to call Daapah?
But the trial is on. They've said they are holding 3 witnesses. We know the witnesses. Daapah is not one of them.
You talked about, and so you're challenging the Attorney General to call Daapah if indeed he wants to have a proper case. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I wouldn't want to tell you the tactics I will use. But whoever should exonerate Kwabena Boahene, I'll call to come and exonerate him. If we
Well, that's Samuel Atachia there. He's a lead counsel for Kwabena Boahene, the former National Signals Bureau chief, who is standing trial as we speak. Now, he references the former National Security Minister, that is Albert Daapah, that he should be called in. It's a key, in his views, figure in this particular case, if the state is really committed to getting to the bottom of this matter. Now, this is a slippery slope, is it not? How do we navigate this path of seeking accountability without necessarily compromising what has been described as sensitive national security information?
It's a very tough question. And I think it is an area that we need, to be very, very careful, if we want, to support our justice delivery system. My good friend Atachia is suggesting that the state, must necessarily list the Honorable Daapah as a star prosecution witness. Well, the prosecution, reserves to itself, the freedom, to select, its witnesses. And if it feels that Daapah, shouldn't, be one of the witnesses, I don't see why, the defense counsel or the accused person, can insist that because of a certain relationship, therefore, the former Minister for National Security, must, be brought into, the criminal, trial as a star witness. It's up to, the Director of Public Prosecution, to choose or select, the witness, the persons, to testify as prosecution witness. It is not, if the defense feels that Daapah is vital, they should know what to do. But I don't think that, you see, because if the state feels that the former security minister, is
will help their case in any way,
they will not, or will come and destroy their case. The prosecution is not, bound, is not obligated. It is not, something that the criminal justice system will insist that, they may or they may not.
He said he's spoken to Daapah.
And if he's prepared to, to go and speak and the state says no, what can Daapah do?
Oh, Mr. Emmanuel Koten is a security analyst, and this matter has both the law and the security at play. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Emmanuel Koten, can you hear us? Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Well, Fred, thank you for having me. Very good evening to our cherished listeners.
Great. During the early period of this trial, there was a document that was leaked, which contained some sensitive national security expenditure items. We're going to put that on the screen right now. And now, hearing what Samuel Atacha is talking about, I'll draw you in on how this path should be and could be navigated. And this is it. You recall that there was this Operation Calm Life, anti-kidnapping, violent crimes. This document that was leaked said the reported amount of over 3.7 million had been allocated between 2020 and 2024. The justification on the face of the document was that it was for the stability of the nation, counter violent crimes, and this was received by various personnel and activities. And then also there was a parliamentary, that special enactment of National Signals Bureau Act 2020, some 960,000 on the face of that document between 2020 and 2021, which was then described as MP's allowances for the members of the Defense and Interior Committee. We had some members of the Interior Committee coming out to say, well, they don't know about this. Parliamentary, another one as well, the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, some 309,000 was reported to have been given as allowances. Election special operations, allowances and logistics, over 7.2 million for the 2020 elections, for the stability of the nation and peaceful polling. And this was received by various personnel and activities. Then you have election special ops, allowances and logistics, and then the special elections, special operations, support for opposition parties, as a communication equipment for election results coalition. This was also denied. At the time, all the opposition parties said they don't even know where this money went to. Then you have some over 5 million CDs said to be election special ops, logistics, vehicles, 2024 Nizam Patrol Platinum, and others. This was supposed to, Mr. Koten, under normal circumstances, this would have qualified to be national security or classified information, right? But in the midst of all of this, we got to know of this. It became public because it was leaked. Now, Samuel Atacha is suggesting that Daapah is one person the state will have to speak to if they want to get to the bottom of this matter. Is this as a path that would be worth traveling on this case?
Well, Alfred, thank you for having me once again. You see, one of the fundamental challenges in democratic societies is ensuring that national security operatives don't become shield for corruption whilst maintaining operational security. And here's why, Alfred. You see, democratic countries establish the fight against corruption as a core national security interest. Because corruption, as we all know, corrodes public trust. It hobbles effective governance. It also distorts markets and equitable access to service. and sometimes it undercuts development efforts, and eventually it contributes to national fragility, extremism, and migration, and what have you. In our part of the world, our national security architecture is opaque. As a result of that, people hide under it to perpetuate all manners of fraud. And this is a classical example of why we need to learn from best practices. Let's look at the United Kingdom, Alfred. You see, the UK has established the Intelligence and Security Committee of Parliament with statutory responsibility for oversight of the UK intelligence community. That is included the MI5 and the MI6. If you look at the committee, it was strengthened under the Justice and Security Act of 1913, the Security Act of 2013, sorry. And if you look at the legal powers it has, it is not voluntary like our part of the world, where any small thing we say that because of national security consideration, we can do A or B or C, creating that environment where people can perpetuate this kind of crime. If you look at the case of Canada, the Canadian, they replaced its previous oversight body with the National Security and Intelligence Review Agency, which now includes oversight of all national security and intelligence activities. So you see that their operations and oversight is responsive to the needs of their democracy. In the United States of America, you know, the FBI operates under multiple oversight layers. We have the Department of Justice, the Congressional Oversight Committees,
Right,
and the Judicial Review Investigative Steps, the National Accountability through the Office of Professional Responsibility, and Whistleblower Protection for Bureau employees. In our part of the world, Alfred, what is really our national security architecture? So I would think our parliamentary oversight committee is letting us down, because Parliament itself has become overly partisan. If you watch the debate in Parliament, anything the government of the day brings on the floor of Parliament, once it has the majority as what the government wants, everybody is whipped in line.
right.
So now we need to look at how we can overcome some of these things through the tight transparency principle. And when I talk about the tight transparency principle, government must allow accessibility, timely information about public spending when it comes to defense and security information. Exemptions based on national security are necessary, which I agree as a security practitioner. But there is the need for clear and rigorous guidelines for withholding information to prevent abuses, just like we are having in this instant case. So it's a very interesting story. We are watching the judiciary as a whole to see how they proceed with this matter. We are not looking that they should hang the dog because it has a bad name. There should be precedent so that it can guide our democracy moving forward. And as a country too, we need to start having a conversation as to what we need to do moving forward over some of these things. I think we can introduce independent anti-corruption agencies. Unfortunately, we have the special prosecutor and the UOCO.
Right.
Also, if you look around things around these agencies, there's political undercurrent somewhere, or they are poorly funded. And the judicial oversight, I mentioned the judiciary.
Yeah, so essentially the point is that you want this entire national security, tag that is given to or used to describe some information as sensitive has to be done away with, so that it would be one of the ways of dealing with corruption in the security sector. Appreciate you for this.
Definitely, because
great.
if you look at Ghana's case today, it illustrates why corruption in national security is not about moral failure, but it's about system begging to be gained. So we have deliberately created systems where officials of this national security operative can bend by their whims and caprices for personal gains or whatever.
Right. Thank you so much. Emmanuel Putin is a security analyst joining us on this. So in a for the state too. It's just a matter of choice. Thank you so much for joining us. Kwekwasa Sare is a former director of the Ghana School of Law, and then also the founder and director of Mount Crest University College. They're also training upcoming lawyers. Thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, the matter of